Awesome. Let's get started. Welcome everyone to the Probe Virtual College Fair. We're so excited to have you participating in this event with us. We have some fantastic schools here with us today. My name is Chelsea and I will be your facilitator. Before we get started, a few housekeeping items. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. This is one of many sessions happening, so be sure to check out the schedule on the website. This presentation, as well as all the others, are being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/probe. I'd like to now turn it over to our first presenter, and that's going to be Pace University.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm going to introduce myself as I share my screen. My name is Juanita Maya, and I am the Assistant Director of Undergraduate Admission for the New York City campus at Pace. So I'm going to tell you all a little bit about Pace University and everything that we have to offer our students. So one of the most important things that Pace has to offer its students, and it's called the Pace Path. And essentially you come in, you create this document your freshman year that's essentially your roadmap from your point A being freshman year to your point B, whether that's your dream job, med school, law school, graduate school, wherever it is you want to be at the end of your 4 years at Pace, and all of the things that are going to be involved in hopefully getting you there. So whether that's studying abroad or participating in 1, 2, 5 internships, being part of our mentor and advisor program. So all of the things that are really going to help mold your experience to get you where you need to go. One of the main parts of the PACE path is your academics. And so we do have 6 different schools of study for you to choose from: our College of Health Professions, our Dyson College of Arts and Sciences, our Elizabeth Hobbs School of Law. Oh my goodness. Elizabeth Hobbs School of Law with our 3-in-3 program, and then our Lubin School of Business, our School of Education, and our Seidenberg School of Computer Science and Information Systems. So throughout those 6 different schools, we do offer over 100 majors, minors, and 35 accelerated and combined degree programs. We do have a large amount of students that do stay for that 5th year because it is saves a year's time and a year of tuition. We do have a fantastic internship program. On average, PACE students do about 4 internships during their time at PACE. You start as early as your 2nd semester of freshman year, working with career services on resume writing workshops and interview skills workshop, so that you can get out there and kind of get your hands dirty and get the experience. And as seen on the slide, we do have 90% of PACE undergraduates that are employed within 6 months of graduation. So it's a really great statistic. It's 20% above the national average, and it's showing that our students are being fruitful while they're out on campus, out in the real world. We have 2 campuses, one in New York. We're in downtown financial district of Manhattan. We are located right next to the Brooklyn Bridge, about 5-10 minute walk from Wall Street. We have about 6,000 undergraduate students, about 1,000 graduate students, and we do have pretty much 4 dormitories, 2 freshmen, 2 upperclassmen dorms, and about 76% of our students that do reside with us on this campus. And then our Westchester campus is located 45 minutes north of the city. This is our more traditional college campus. You can see it's a little bit more up in the environment. While it's not concrete jungle like in the city, this campus has 3,000 undergraduate students and about 1,000 graduate students. We have 5 residence halls on this campus and about 76% of our students that do reside with us. If you would like to apply to PACE, we are looking for that application, whether that's the Common App or the PACE app, either one. We have no preference. We're going to look for your official transcripts, 2 letters of recommendation, your personal statement or essay, and then we are a test optional institution, so you're either your SAT or your ACT. Average SAT is 1150, ACT is a 24, and then our average GPA is a 3.3. So I'm going to talk real quick about our deadline. So FAFSA, that's the free application for federal student assistance, opened October 1st. And then we do have our early decision deadline that is November 1st. This is the binding of the decisions. We have 2 early actions. These are non-binding. It's just essentially you telling us you want to get some information from PACE a little bit earlier. And so that is November 15th, hearing back typically around December 15th, and then early action 2, December 1st, typically hearing back with that first week in January. If you are interested in our performing arts program, please, please, please do not miss our deadline. It is December 15th. This is a very hard deadline. If you miss this deadline, you'll not be allowed to move forward in your audition process. So please keep that in mind. And then February 15th is our regular decision and our nursing deadlines. And then before you know it, you'll be admitted and you'll have to make a decision. And so that deposit is due May 1st, and that's to guarantee your housing with us as well. And then we do have a priority FAFSA deadline of November 15th. And if you file your FAFSA with PACE as one of the institutions, there will be a financial extra scholarship in your package. Average PACE aid for financial aid is roughly around 20,000 for our students. So we do try to make it as affordable as possible. Keep in mind, this is just PACE institutional aid. This is not FAFSA aid. This is typically our scholarship average. All of our students are put in line for a merit scholarship. It does come in your financial aid. In your acceptance letter, I'm sorry. So you will get that notification in your acceptance letter, and that scholarship is yours for all 4 years, as long as you maintain full-time status and whatever GPA is associated with your scholarship. So last but not least, I'm going to leave you here with our contact information. So this is the contact information for the undergraduate admission office, and then my contact information. Feel free, if you have any questions, reach out to me. Email is the best way right now, as we are currently still out of the office, in and out. So best way to reach me is email. But other than that, if you have any questions, pop them in the chat. I'll put my contact information is in there as well. But thank you so much for joining us. And if you have any questions, don't hesitate to pop those in the chat.
Thank you so much. Next, I'd like to pass it off to Regent University.
Hey everyone, give me 1 second so I can get this popped up for you. All right, so good evening, everybody. My name is Nicole Jackson, and I am here to talk with you just a little bit about what your future could look like at Regent University. So we're a private Christian university located in Virginia Beach, Virginia. On our campus, you're surrounded by our Georgian-style architecture. We have beautiful brick walkways all over campus, and we're covered by a wooded landscape. We're conducting individual personalized tours, which you can schedule on our website. So definitely feel free to come and check us out. Regent University is a liberal arts university. We offer over 135 different programs. We offer every level of education, from associate's degrees all the way up to graduate level programs. Some of our most popular programs are cybersecurity, psychology, business, communication, education, and our biblical studies program. So some quick facts. We have over 11,000 students total at Regent. 4,400 make up our undergraduate population. Our students come from all 50 states, over 90 countries, and 40 denominations. You can choose to either study online, live on our campus, or commute from the local area. However you choose to study, rest assured you will not be lost in a giant lecture hall or be treated like a number. You learn directly from our professors in a small classroom environment, allowing you to connect with your peers and receive more of that personalized instruction. In addition to that, faculty not only teach, but they are actively working in their disciplines. So really, they're a great resource available to you. So here at Regent, we want to surround you with every single resource you need to earn a quality education and have a great experience. So all of our services, from our academic student center, our Center for Student Happiness, are available to you. We're committed to your success, and we want to help you every step of the way. All right, the super fun stuff of where you'll be living. So we offer apartment-style student housing on campus with free parking. There's a laundry facility, a 24-hour fitness center, and a fully furnished kitchen in each suite. We're ranked the top 5 safest college campuses in Virginia, and then this past year, we were actually ranked #1. So we are the safest college campus in Virginia. So we fully understand that figuring out finances is a huge factor when it comes to choosing which school you end up deciding to go to. At Regent, we are committed to making our education affordable, which includes many scholarships. We rank in the top 5% of the most affordable Christian colleges and universities. In fact, 85% of our undergraduate students did receive some form of aid. We also have a net price calculator on our website. It is really helpful because you can determine the cost based on like your individual circumstance. So it is on our website. It's free for you to use. So definitely feel free to check out that resource. So we get that your college experience is a 360-degree experience, and Regent offers many opportunities for you to get involved outside of the classroom. So we have over 55 different student organizations. We have a surf club, we have our moot court room, and we have our student activities board. We offer many regular events such as like paint nights and escape rooms. Our student services right now have adapted that to fall within the COVID-19 guidelines. We also have 9 collegiate sports as well as club and intramural sports as well. We have a state-of-the-art performing arts center where students can either watch or participate in several productions throughout the year. And if you're interested in a military career, we offer several ROTC programs and scholarships. And then last but not least, we do have our campus ministries, which host our chapel, our life groups, and other ways to connect with students throughout the week. Like I mentioned, we're in Virginia Beach, just a short drive away from the boardwalk. Virginia boasts many state and national parks and historic sites like historic Williamsburg. Regent students can also take advantage of nearby art museums and cultural events, and we're only a few hours away from other places like the Outer Banks and Washington, D.C. All right, so what are your next steps? You can apply online or you can give us a call and speak with one of our admissions counselors, and they can often waive your $50 application fee. We operate on a rolling admissions basis, so there are no hard deadlines and you can apply at any time. We are test optional this year. However, if you did take the test or you're planning on taking it this year, go ahead and still do that and submit your test scores. We definitely encourage you to do that if you have them or you plan on getting them. And we just look forward to helping you discover your future with us. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. Next up, we have Augusta University.
Okay, sorry about that. Hi, everyone. My name is Shereen Clement. I am the Assistant Director of Admissions at Augusta University. And I'm going to be talking to you a little bit about our school and what we have to offer students today. So Augusta University traces its history back to 1828 when the Medical College of Georgia was founded. The Medical College and the Dental College of Georgia consolidated with what was Augusta State University in 2012. And then in 2016, we emerged as Augusta University, one complete institution that is encompassing of both our only public medical school in Georgia, the only dental school in Georgia, and of course, Augusta University, which houses our undergraduate and graduate programs. Augusta University has an enrollment of about a little over 9,000 students, but 5,600 of those are undergraduate. So although we're a medium-sized institution, the undergraduate experience feels a lot like a small institution. Our freshman class is about 1,000 to 1,050 students yearly, and we have a student to faculty ratio of about 15:1. Augusta University has over 150 different degree programs ranging against 10 colleges and schools, so a lot of diverse academic opportunities for students. And we are one of the 4 Georgia research institutions. In the past few years, I think Augusta University has kind of risen in name recognition and popularity in the state, but in the last 2 years, I would say unfortunately, but also Augusta University has led the state's efforts for COVID-19. So a lot of visibility has come to our school in terms of the research. For instance, the first COVID test that was used in Georgia was developed on our campus. And there's been lots of things that happen on our campus in terms of research that affect our university, but also the state and nation. Here you can see our top undergraduate majors. Our most popular freshman student comes in with that biology or cell and molecular biology major. A lot of those students are looking at the pre-medical, pre-dentistry, or maybe pre-pharmacy tracks. Computer science and technology are huge on our campus. We actually have an entire campus dedicated to cybersecurity and computer science that sits right on the Savannah River. It's a very beautiful campus. We have the state's largest and oldest nursing program on our campus. And that being said, health sciences overall is a huge feature of our campus. We have a very customizable business degree for students who are interested in that. Our kinesiology program has a lot of students who are looking towards physical therapy or occupational therapy as a career. Last but not least, psychology. Some important programs that we offer that tend to be really popular with students in the application phase are professional scholars programs. We have 3 of those. First, the Nursing Scholars Program offers a direct admit pathway for students into our nursing program, because of course you normally apply in your sophomore year into a college's nursing program. We have a select few students, about 20 every year, who already have held their spot. In a similar fashion, we offer freshman students to apply to Augusta University, and if qualified, they can start as freshmen having already held their spot at the Medical College of Georgia or the Dental College of Georgia, and then completing both their bachelor's degree and their MD or DMD in 7 years. So it's accelerated, but also you're kind of bypassing the step of having to reapply for medical or dental school. So those are a very small select few students. You can see only 122 participants, but for students who are super excited about that career pathway, it's a great opportunity for them to move through that. Outside of academics, we do have lots of great things happening on campus in terms of our student life. We have over 170 different student organizations. Those are encompassing of Greek life, pre-professional, academic, religious, really any type of organization you can think of. We offer intramural and club sports, and then our own Division I and Division II sports. Students can opt to live on campus at Augusta University. We don't require it, but we do have a freshman residence hall, Oak Hall. There's detailed videos of that online, and you can also come and see us on a tour and see Oak Hall. We have various student life events happening all throughout the year. I think the most popular one is Pig Out, which is essentially a free food festival in the middle of campus, because everyone loves free food, especially college students, but they do really, really great things throughout the year. And then, of course, Augusta. The city of Augusta is a huge feature of our student life. Augusta is the 3rd largest city in the state of Georgia. So there's things happening off campus that students like to be a part of. For instance, we just had an art festival in downtown Augusta. There's lots of coffee shops and restaurants. I think Nacho Mama is a favorite of students. So if you're ever in Augusta, let us give you directions to Nacho Mama. I live in walking distance of Nacho Mama now, and I've convinced myself that walking to tacos is healthy. So that's all I want to eat anymore. But definitely downtown Augusta, I would say, fuels a lot of the student life in our city. Tuition and fees, an average incoming student for in-state tuition is paying a little over $18,000 at Augusta University. Out of state, a little under $34,000. That's inclusive, again, of tuition fees, housing, and our meal plans. We are a public institution in Georgia, so if there are any Georgia students on this call, we do accept Hope and Zell Miller. We also have our own institutional scholarships. There is an application that's required for that students can fill out once they've been admitted, and I'll touch on that a little bit later. Our application process, we try to be super straightforward about it, but we give you lots of tools and resources, including a dedicated admissions counselor to help you through that. Our application opens every year on August 1st. So for seniors, it's already open. We have our application house on the Common App, also the Georgia Futures website. The majority of our students apply via Common App these days, though. It's a little bit more of a streamlined application process. Our early application deadline is November 15th. That's non-binding. After that application deadline passes, we move to a rolling admissions process. That being said, if you have a student or you are interested in one of those professional scholars programs I spoke about, you have to apply by that November 15th deadline so you can proceed through the rest of their application process. Another reason to apply early is so you can complete the scholarship application. That opens yearly in December and closes on February 1st. And as I said earlier, you have to be admitted to apply for scholarships. So if you want to give yourself that full 2 months to complete that application, you want to make sure that you're applying by the early application deadline. That scholarship application is inclusive of both merit-based and need-based and academic awards. May 1st is our enrollment confirmation deadline. That's the day we want you to let us know if you're interested in becoming a Jaguar. You do that by completing a form that's on your application portal that you'll get access to upon submitting your application, and then paying a $200 deposit that goes towards your overall cost of tuition. July is our final admissions deadline for additional materials, and we always communicate that with you all. If you'd like to come visit us, here's our information. We have open house coming up at the end of this month on the 30th, and we'd love to have you there for a Saturday visit opportunity. Thank you all so much, and I hope you have a great afternoon.
Thank you so much. All right, next up is the Art Institute. If you don't mind unmuting, that way we can hear you.
Hey, thank you. It's like I've never done a Zoom meeting before.
Um, my name is Greta Beller, and I'm from the Art Institutes of Atlanta. For those of you that don't know anything about us, we are a creative college, basically a career college. We do have a school in Atlanta, but we also have two schools in Florida. We have 4 in Texas and 1 in Virginia Beach. I represent mostly the school in Atlanta, but all of them are just a little bit different. Y'all, we are smaller schools. In Atlanta, we have less than 1,000 students, and it's a very creative community. One of my favorite things about the Art Institutes is that we do a lot of collaboration. You will not just be working with your small group in your degree, you're going to be working with everybody on campus, which is really kind of great. It's a portfolio-driven curriculum. Our programs do not require you to have a portfolio to get into the Art Institutes, but you will leave with one, because in the fields that we offer, you do need to have a portfolio to be able to get a job. We are on quarters, so 11-week quarters, and then you have a break. So that's kind of a little bit different as well. Here you can kind of see our building. We have a 5-story building just outside of the perimeter of Atlanta. So you're close enough to the city, but a little bit outside of it. Our degrees, we offer a little different type of degrees than most folks. We have bachelor's and associates, anything from culinary arts and baking and pastry. We have fashion, both design and marketing. We do game design and animation. We have film and audio production, photography, graphic and web, illustration and interior design. And you can see some of them have both associates and bachelor's degrees. So we do a little bit of both. So depending on if you want that 2-year or that 4-year degree, you can do either one. Now, the AI difference, y'all, like I said, very collaborative. The classroom experience is going to be very different than what you're used to. It is very hands-on. So when you start at the Art Institutes of Atlanta, from the very first day, you're in your program. So if you're in culinary, day 1, you're going to be in that kitchen. If you're in fashion, you're in fashion illustration, day 1. So that's very different. Also, our faculty is different. We have all or most of our faculty that have or still are working in the field they're teaching you. So they are fashion designers, they are chefs, and they are out in that world, in those fields. So they know what it takes to get into that industry. We do have hybrid courses, y'all. About 65% of your classes will be on ground. And then, 35% or so are still virtual, or they might be 1 day virtual, 1 day on ground. We also do have an entirely online division through our Miami school. So if you don't want to come to campus ever, you can do that also. We will help you too. If you're wondering, I have people all the time ask me, I can't decide which program. Our enrollment counselors sit down with you and talk to you about what program they think is the best fit for you and try and figure that out with you, so you'll have some help. Financial aid is a huge thing as well, you guys, and you will work one-on-one with financial aid advisors to figure out what kind of aid you are eligible for. We do also accept Hope and Zell Miller, and we accept federal financial aid if you qualify as well. So we have a lot of our own different scholarships and things like that you can apply for as well. Kind of the biggest for high school seniors is our initiative scholarship. The deadline is in February, and it does require a project. It's almost like a little portfolio. So depending on what program you're in, for example, culinary students, they have to create a 3-course meal with a $25 budget for 4 people. So it's just kind of like that. So that's kind of fun. And if you are a member of National Art Honor Society, Skills USA, FCCLA, FBLA, or TSA, we have a scholarship just for being a member, and then also for placing at state and sometimes at national competitions as well. So that's kind of a big thing. There's no specific deadlines on those, just depending on when competitions are. National Art Honor Society is not competition-based, but it's project-based, actually. So you submit a project and we select 3 scholarships nationwide based on that. We also have call-out classes, you guys, you can take right now. If you are interested in, I want to check out fashion, I want to check out culinary, you can take a class right now while you're still in high school. They don't cost anything, and you could potentially get credit for them if you end up attending with us. If you decide not to attend, you can also use them on a resume, a college application. They're great for that as well. Our session starts in January. The registration link will be up the end of October. And so you can go on and just register for class and show up. In January, we'll have both on ground and
virtual classes that you can choose from. So these are specifically just for high school juniors and seniors. And we typically offer about 7 different classes. You guys, we've given away about 17 million in grants and scholarships in 2019, 2020. More than 93% of our students receive financial aid and scholarships. And the average financial award is about $14,000. So again, you'll work with a financial aid advisor to see kind of what you qualify for and what your situation is individually. Our students are, like I said, are very hands-on, whether doing fashion illustration, whether they're working with draping, whether we're having an actual runway show that is the culmination of your program and your senior project. And this is kind of the culmination of this is your portfolio show. Also, most students are required to have internships before they graduate because we want you to have that real world experience. And we don't wait for internships. Our students have worked with Simply Buckhead magazine, done actual runway shows. And so we want you to be out in that world working on stuff and getting familiar with it before you actually leave. My email is on here, y'all. You can reach out to me at any point in time. I'd be more than happy to help you with anything. And we'd love to have you on campus for a visit. So thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks so much. We appreciate that. All right, next up is the University of Florida.
Right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here tonight. So my name is Dave Morin, and I am an admissions officer with the University of Florida. Go Gators. So I'm the representative for all Georgia students. So if you have any questions after tonight, please do keep in touch. You can find my information on the website. I'm also the first person in my family to go to college. So shout out to all of you who are or who will be the first in your family to go to college. We definitely celebrate you. So a little bit about the University of Florida. We, first and foremost, are located in Gainesville, Florida. So Gainesville has a population of about 120,000. It's a classic college town. We're about 5 hours south of the Atlanta metropolitan area. We have over 220 days of sunshine in Florida. So a big reason students come down to Florida is to be maybe closer to the water and palm trees and warm weather. You can see on the map there, we're about 2 hours from Orlando and Disney World, about 2 hours to either coast as well. So even though we're not a coastal town, we can, rest assured you can get to the coast pretty easily. So the Atlantic Ocean beaches, Jacksonville, about an hour and a half, 2 hours away, and then Tampa and the Gulf of Mexico, not too far as well. The Gator Nation is everywhere. So the University of Florida is a place of tremendous passion. That includes Georgia as well. So you might even have parents, family members, friends who are graduates at the University of Florida. So as you can see here on the screen, we've got things like the Atlanta Gator Club, the Savannah Gator Club, the South Georgia Gator Club. So graduates of the University of Florida are in all 50 states and 135 plus countries. We have things like the University of Florida Association of Black Alumni, as well as the overall broader UF Alumni Association. So even after you graduate, you're part of something special. You're a Gator. It's a fantastic community to be a part of. Other things to know, we are ranked number 5 in the nation among all public universities. This is a major research university. A fun fact is that Gatorade was actually invented at the University of Florida, we're the Gators, right? We're a land, sea, and space grant university. So we are doing research in everything from artificial intelligence to agriculture, to endangered languages, to aquatic disease and marine science and zoology and all kinds of things. So we really want to emphasize that even as an undergraduate, you have access to research. So you're not waiting until graduate school. We have a center for undergraduate research that prioritizes research for undergraduates. We're one of the 5 largest universities in the country, and that can be intimidating for folks at first as you explore a big campus. But I also say big universities definitely bring big opportunities, especially for depth and for breadth and for variety. So for example, we have over 120 majors. Some of the more popular majors would be things like maybe business, journalism, engineering, nursing, there's pre-law and pre-health pathways, everything from sport management to zoology to construction management. There are over 1,000 student clubs and organizations at Florida as well. So some of my favorites, we have a rock, paper, scissors club. We have a skydiving club called the Falling Gators. There's even, the Litigators, which is a mock trial club. So anything you can imagine, you're probably going to find it at Florida. There's a Disney club and a Quidditch club and so much more. So again, big school, big opportunities. 20% of our students are involved in Greek life, so fraternities and sororities. We've got intramural sports and club sports, and then big time Division I, SEC, NCAA sports as well. Residence halls, of course, a big part of student life. We don't require students to live on campus, but we encourage it, especially early on. We have things like living learning communities. So there's a first generation living learning community. There's an honors living learning community. There's a Black cultural living learning community. There's an engineering living learning community. So you can find community within your residence halls, within those living learning communities on campus, as well as throughout all those clubs and organizations. Despite being a large school, definitely know that Gators are supported and Gators are successful. 97% freshman retention rate, 88% 6-year graduation rate. We have things like a disability resource center that serves over 4,000 Gators with disabilities. There's the first generation student success office, the multicultural and diversity affairs office, the career center, and so much more. We also want to emphasize the value of an education at the University of Florida. So tremendous opportunities, potentially 85% of our students receive some form of financial aid. The obvious question is going to be how much, and that just depends on the competitive nature of admissions. Do know that when you apply to Florida, you are automatically considered for merit scholarships. There's no separate application. I always tell folks you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take, right? That famous quote by Wayne Gretzky. So know that we encourage you to apply to all the schools you're passionate about, including Florida and all the schools here today. You just don't know until you get those admission offers and those financial aid offers. Last thing, just to wrap up, November 1st is our deadline. So priority deadline, make sure to apply by November 1st for the best possible chance. You have until December 1st to self-report your grades. We're not looking at your transcript, you're self-reporting grades by December 1st. And then we are not a test optional school, so we do require ACT or SAT by December 15th. So thanks so much, go Gators, and definitely reach out if I can help.
Awesome, thanks so much. Okay, so unfortunately, we have one institution who was not able to join us this evening, but we are going to continue on to the next part of the session. So I'm going to invite everybody back on screen. And I'm going to share mine here. So I'm going to go around and in the same order that they originally presented in the first time, I'm going to ask them to give us some advice on for someone who is going through the college search process. So I'm going to start with Pace University.
Okay, thank you. So I think two of the biggest kind of things that I always think about when going through the search process is always think about your location, where you want to be. So do you want to stay down where it's warmer? Do you want to experience the cold? So that's usually one of my biggest piece of advice. Like really think about the weather when you're considering everything, especially because in New York it does snow a lot. And then the other thing is visit campus. It's so important that you visit a campus, you get the feel for it, the vibe, you really get to see students in action and how your day-to-day would be. I always joke around when I do my presentations for the tour. It's like your say yes to the dress moment, right? You're going to come on campus, you're going to see everything. And then once you get there, you'll be like, yes, this is exactly where I see myself for the next 4 years. So visiting campus is super important so that you can kind of see and get the feel of where you would want to attend.
Thank you so much. Regent University.
Well, Pace, you took my first one. It was definitely going to be visit campus. As cliche as it sounds, I tell students this all the time. Like when it's right, it's just going to feel right. The location, the environment, the campus life, you can see yourself being there. So yes, I agree. Definitely visit campus, especially if you want to go somewhere cold. And then my second piece of advice is just to talk to everybody and ask as many questions as possible. I don't think it's ever too early to start. If you're even like a sophomore, Kind of just have an open mind when talking and hearing from other universities, because they may be offering things you never even considered. So those are my 2 pieces of advice.
Great, thank you. Augusta University.
Okay, so I'm going to offer an addendum to visit campus and then another thing, but when you visit campus, do the campus tour. But if you have time, spend time in the town. I think a lot of times I hear from students and they do the campus tour and they leave. And in our heads, I was the same way. Like, oh, I don't live in my college town, I just go to school there. But you're actively living in a new place for 4 to 5 years. So you want to make sure you like the city. So go get dinner, drive around, see the place. And if you're able to do that, I think it's super important to see that as well. And then continue to use your admissions counselor as a resource. I find sometimes students will say, I'm so sorry for emailing you, or can you call me? I'm so sorry. And I'm like, it is my full-time job to help you and be a resource. So don't apologize. Make sure you're using us and that we're able to walk you through this process, whether it's, you're the first person in your family to go to college or everyone is gone. Doesn't matter, because they probably went in a different time and the world was different than when they went. So make sure you're using us as a resource, as that first line of defense in this process, because we want to make sure that we're supporting you in this whole process.
Wonderful, thank you. Next, the Art Institute. What advice would you give?
Hey, I'm gonna echo what everybody says. It's always the first thing I say is visit. When I also think when you visit, talk to students who are there. Don't just talk to faculty. Don't just talk to your admissions counselor. See if you can get in front of other students in the field that you're in and get their real world advice. I find they have the best insight because they're the ones going through it right now. Also, and maybe because we offer a few different things, if you can, before you get to college, try out what you're thinking of going into. Do a job shadow, take a class in high school, take a summer class, try to do something where you can experience it before, stepping onto that college campus and trying it for the first time, when you're having to pay for it and you're away from home and all of those things. So those are my 2 best pieces of advice.
Absolutely, thank you so much. And University of Florida.
Yeah, so that's all great. And I would echo all those things. And I guess I would just add, my best advice is to believe in yourself and just know that, adversity and imposter syndrome are definitely real, right? And so we can be our own harshest critics. And it's important to just, never stop yourself from pursuing your goals and your dreams. Don't let anyone stop you, but especially you. Have faith and, pursue your passion.
Awesome, thank you. All right, I'm going to bring us up to one more question here. What's one thing you want students to remember about your school? And we will start up again with Pace University.
Okay, so I think 2 things. So definitely the opportunity. We always say go-getters go to Pace, and that's really, really, really true. We have 2 New York locations. We're in New York. The opportunities are here, but they're not going to come knocking on your dorm door. You're going to have to go out there and be involved and look for the internships and work with our career services office. We have students that are literally fashion designers that graduated from Pace nowadays. Beyonce and Megan, I was going to say Megan Trainor, Megan Trainor, Megan, Princess Megan, married to Prince Harry, like literally walking around with his bags. And you can be that successful, but definitely being a go-getter and going out there and taking advantage of all the opportunities that Pace has to offer as students is really going to help you along the way. Yeah.
Thank you. Regent University, what do you want people to remember about you?
I think the one thing I just want to share, our mission is Christian leadership to change the world. And while you're at Regent, I don't want people to ever feel like, they're alone, or that when you get to campus, like, good luck, hope you make it. Everybody at Regent, the faculty, staff, even your fellow peers, we all want to help you and see you succeed. Obviously, we want you to grow academically, but like spiritually and just like who you are as a person, that's also a part of the college experience. You're going to grow and change so much, and that we're there alongside you the entire time. So that's my one thing that I would like people to remember.
Great, thank you. All right, Augusta, what would you like students to remember?
I'd like them to remember, I think, about the culture of Augusta University. I kind of mentioned how we're a smaller institution, not the smallest, but smaller, with only 5,000 undergrads. And I think that a lot of times we speak to how that affects your faculty or relationships, but I think it's really important to know how that affects just even our professional staff and our students with each other. It's a small student story, but we had a student, she was a student worker in our activity center and wanted to do museum studies and work in museums. And one of the people who works, our professional staff there, saw a museum internship in the town and said, hey, I want you to apply for this. They don't work directly together. She had only interacted with him a few and mentioned that, but he was able to remember that about her and, you know, put her in touch with the people, even though that was going to mean she was not going to work at the student activity center anymore and he was going to lose an employee. But I just really see those relationships even outside of the classroom at AU. And I think it's our size and then just the culture of the school. And I just would like people to remember that about us.
Thank you so much. The Art Institute.
Hey, I think for me, it's the collaboration that we are also small. And when you work in a culinary, you're going to be working with people in other departments in other fields. And the best thing a student ever said to me, an animation student, was, I came to this school and I was so shy and I thought I would just stay in my little group and not meet anybody else and not go anywhere else. And she's like, pretty soon I'm with people from fashion and I'm with people from culinary and photography. And you're all working together on projects and all doing things together. So to really reach out and use all of your resources and meet all of the people on campus, not just the people that are in your little group, because that's the very best thing about the Art Institute is it's a family and we do a lot together. So.
Perfect. Thank you. And University of Florida.
Yeah, so I would just say, I think most importantly, you know, I mentioned that it's a big school, right? And big schools aren't for everyone. So I love that we have this representation today of smaller schools, bigger schools, because you can only, you know, do your best to go visit first and foremost to go see if this is the fit for you or not. What I'll say is, you know, I mentioned big schools bring big opportunities. And so I think that's my number one advice. If you're someone that's drawn to a big school, is there's so much depth and breadth and variety, but as a colleague said, it's not going to come knocking on your door necessarily. It takes more kind of proactive reaching out to find some of those resources, but lots of variety and depth and breadth at a big school like ours.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you everyone for your insight, for your advice. That's all wonderful. I am going to now wrap things up here for us. So a big thank you to all of our presenters for your time, your insight, your information, all very wonderful. And thank you to our participants for being with us this evening. When you close this window, there will be a link to a very quick 5-question survey. If you don't mind filling some of that out and giving us some feedback, we really appreciate it. We encourage you to check back to the schedule and sign up for more sessions if you're interested. You'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other sessions recordings at strivescan.com/probe. Thank you so much and have a wonderful rest of your night.